tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Hi everyone, welcome to Dharma Earth's Dose of Dharma. And this is your dose of Dharma for today. So, we're gonna continue with the discussion on how to improve our memory according to the teachings of the Buddha. So previously we talked about strong mindfulness, sila, samadhi, panya, morality, concentration, and wisdom. We also talked about eradicating defilements so that you have less distracting thoughts. Today we're going to talk about the next one, which is repetitive memorizing, listening, or applying. Alright? So, where does this come from? Actually, in Theravada Buddhism, the bhikkhus, the monks, in order to gain independence from their teacher, which is like a leaving school examination or something like that, leaving school requirement, okay? Then one of the criteria is to memorize the bhikkhu and bhikkhuni patimokkha, which is the rules of the monks and the nuns, okay? To memorize by heart. Yeah, without the book, by heart. Yes, you heard it right, by heart. 227 rules, or 300 over rules for the nuns, 227 rules for the bhikkhus, by heart, in Pali language. Alright? So how do the monks do that? Well, monks have different ways of memorizing, but one of the common thing that they do is repetition. So when you go to monasteries in Myanmar, then you will see that, when you go to the Pali schools, you will see that, there's a lot of chanting and a lot of chanting. Why? Then later when you see it inside, you'll see that the young monks, the young novice monks and the bhikkhus, they are all memorizing by heart. How do they do it? It's just repetitive. First paragraph, first word, first paragraph, first and second word, first paragraph, first, second, third word, first paragraph, first, second, third, fourth word, first paragraph, first, second, third, fourth, fifth word, and repeating it again and again and again and again. So in this way, when they do it repetitively, then it helps them to retain the memory of that stanza or that passage in their mind. So what can we learn from this actually? Well, one thing we can learn about the principles of improving our memory is that repetition is very important, right? So actually that's how the bhikkhus memorize the patimokkha. It's through constant repetition. And then when they are able to do that, then you'll find that after some time it gets more and more easy to memorize the stanzas and the passages. A lot of people may say, Bande, I know this repetition, why are you saying this? It's just a very simple thing. But actually not everyone know, actually. Why? Because we know that intentional repetitive memorizing helps us in retaining that memory. But when it comes to life, when you want to study for your biology, when you want to study for medicine, when you want to study for other things, then a lot of people, sometimes if they never look up into the ways of studying, they just study, but they never repeat enough, Then because of that, then even after 1 or 2 days of hard studying, it's not much that they can memorize, right? I don't know whether you guys have this kind of experience. Well, I do last time, before I started my meditation trip. Before I start my meditation journey. But after studying on the meditation journey and practicing Dharma, practicing the morality, concentration and wisdom, then I find that through repetitive memorizing intentionally, whether it's a patimokkha or the Abhidhamma Sangaha or other discourses, then it gets really, really easy. So when you want to apply it in your daily life, just repeat. When you read this passage, if you don't understand, no problem, just repeat it again. After you repeat it for the second time, if you don't understand it, then you repeat it for the third time again. If you repeat it for the third time already, and you still have maybe like just 60% memory of that passage, do it again and again, again and again, again and again, until you are able to memorize the points or that part of the passage. Then you would be successful in that. No need to, some people when they study, after studying for 2 hours, they feel that they have a headache, and their head feels like it's enlarged, or they feel a lot of tension in the head, especially around the solar plexus, at the temples. But if we know that repetition helps in memorizing, then we will just read one time, and then after that, again, read it again, and read it again, and read it again and again and again and again, until we really understand and have a good memory about the passage. Then this will actually help us to study without getting into the trouble of getting into headaches and very tense temples near your head. And another way to improve memory is repetitive listening. Sometimes for meditators, when we feel that one Dhamma talk is very helpful for us in our meditation or in our cultivation, we listen to it again and 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 again until it becomes so embedded in our mind that before the speaker speaks the next line, you already know what he wants to speak, like that. Alright, repeat again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again. So in this way, it helps to bring up the memory also, right? Then the third one is repetitive applying. So some people, when they memorize, after that, they forget, like nowadays, if one has graduated from school, maybe with a degree in electronics, then after that, they go on and start a business about maybe like selling fish or selling some other things not related to electronics. And gradually they will forget all the knowledge, right? After 5 years, 10 years, they will forget, right? But if that knowledge is being used in their daily life or in their job, then they will remember quite easily, isn't that so? So applying the knowledge that we memorize also help us to improve and retain our memory of that. And when we apply it again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again, then that's where that particular stanza or that particular knowledge gets embedded into our mind. So by repetitive memorizing, listening, and applying what we have learned, we are able to improve our memory and also to retain the memory of what we have learned in our mind, like that, no? And especially for memorizing, if you see in the Pali schools, when the monks, they are memorizing, and when they are trying to memorize, their mind is focused on memorizing, and then they forget about all the distractions gradually. If they are proficient enough, if they are focused enough, then they forget about all the defilements gradually. As they cultivate this habit again and again, again and again, then the defilements will be very, very far away from them. So this is one way that memorizing helps to reduce and eradicate defilements and help to cultivate concentration or a focused mind also. So repetitive memorizing, listening, and applying what we have learned is very, very crucial and important in improving our memory according to teachings of the Buddha. So hopefully today this sharing will be able to help you guys to be able to have an idea of how to apply this repetition training in your life, and hopefully may all of us be able to improve our memory with the teachings of the Buddha. And with this, this is a dose of Dhamma for the day. May the Triple Gem bless all of us to be well, peaceful and happy. And may all of us be able to attain path, fruition and Nibbana as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.